way. Boy, what a crazy day in Nashville, but Arkansas gets
opening drive for the Illini.
Rain, snow, and wind to Harvard Stadium. Are they perfect conditions for Dartmouth's ground game led by Nick Schwiger? He says, bring it on. Or will Collier Winters be able to do what he wants for Harvard? Ivy League football is next on Fox College Sports. Welcome to historic Harvard Stadium where, the snow is coming down as we get set to bring you Ivy League football. Dartmouth making the trip to Harvard to take on the nationally ranked Crimson. Eric Freed, Steve Diassi, Katie Fitzpatrick, and our crew. And it is miserable right now, but for a guy who played his fair share of football games, Steve Diassi, this is perfect football weather for you.
You know, you actually kind of enjoyed it simply because you don't get the opportunity to play in snow quite a bit. Rain can wear you down. You play 60 minutes of football in the rain, it is a grind. The snow, it's fun. You can make snow angels if it piles up enough. It's a good time to play in the snow.
That may be in the forecast, snow angels. We'll watch for it. Okay, what should we watch for as far as on the field? It's a field turf surface, so it's going to hold up pretty well. But Nick Schwiger, a guy who loves to run the football and does it very well. Do these conditions favor the top running back in the Ivy League?
I think it favors the style of runner that he is. He's a strong, powerful guy, keeps the legs moving, doesn't go down with the first hit. He'll bring it to the defense. Harvard's going to have to get a lot of guys around the ball, and Dartmouth absolutely wants to control the ball to keep it away from that Harvard offense.
The senior leads the Ivy in rushing yards per game at 118 a game. He's fifth in the country in that category. Now on this miserable night here at Harvard, you wonder, well, how do you stop Nick Schwiger? And they've got just the guy in the middle of the defensive line. It's the senior from Avon Park, Florida, Josue Ortiz.
And Josue Ortiz is an all-around player. He's leading the Ivy League with 6 sacks in 6 games, but he's also very good against the run. He'll do a lot of slanting into gaps. He'll make a lot of things happen. He likes to get into the backfield early on, try to disrupt that running game any way that he can. You've got to have some quick and solid offensive linemen to take care of this player. He's a good young player.
Should be a great matchup here tonight, and the conditions aren't that great. With the snow falling and the wind blowing, it's time for Ivy League football. Kickoff coming up next. College Sports is brought to you by Putnam Investments. Putnam Investments is focused on long-term results and has been pursuing performance excellence for more than 70 years. Snow starting to pile up a little bit, getting a little bit tougher to see the field, and we do have some fans who are doing their best to battle the elements. It was pouring about 45 minutes ago, and it started to transition over to snow as the temperature has dropped. They're expecting some heavy snow as we go along here tonight, maybe a foot west of us out towards Worcester in the western part of the state. As Dartmouth takes the field here at Harvard Stadium, and we head down to the field and join the third member of our team, Katie Fitzpatrick.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Well, as you can see, these weather conditions are less than ideal for both teams here playing tonight, and it's thanks to a very random nor'easter that made its way to the Boston area earlier this afternoon. It started as rain at about 3 o'clock, but as you can see, it's turned over to snow completely in almost whiteout conditions. Now, we want to keep an eye on the snow, but certainly there's other wind gusts. We could see up to 3 inches of snow and accumulation, as well as 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Temperatures are expected to be in the low 30s, so fans, spectators, and all the players of the team and the coaching staff are doing their best to keep warm down here. Now, there's no doubting that the weather is going to be the biggest factor in tonight's game, especially in terms of passing, but both teams are going to have to do their best. Let's hope they stay safe out there. Guys?
Katie, we need to get her a winter hat immediately, if not sooner.
A hat at least, if not a parka and anything else she needs down there. A fire pit maybe.
A fire pit would be perfect.
She's got the difficult duty of the night. So good luck to her, and glad we're the ones up here.
First shot you take. All right, so it's going to be a matchup between Dartmouth coming off a win against Columbia. Buddy Stevens, the head coach of the Big Green. It was a 37-0 victory for Dartmouth last week against Columbia. That game played up in Hanover. On the other side, Tim Murphy, the head coach for the Harvard Crimson, as his team, the only team undefeated in Ivy League play at 3-0. Penn lost today to Brown 6-0. So they're 3-1. Brown is 3-1. Yale is 3-1. So Harvard controls their fate to win another Ivy League championship. Harvard will kick it away to start things here at the stadium. Andrew Donahue is back deep with Sean Abuhoff, and this is going to be one of the things we watch. These two teams have had success in the return game this year. Abuhoff for Dartmouth and Saitu Smith, the freshman, for Harvard. So we'll see if that's an advantage.
Smith, the freshman of the week last week, with a great game in the return game too.
Ready to play. David Monander ready to boot it away for the Crimson, and we're underway in the snow here at the stadium. It's taken by Abuhoff at the 9. Looks up the middle between the hashes. Now tries to head to the outside. Breaks a tackle. Abuhoff, the dangerous return man, takes it out to the 40, and a good start for the Big Green. It'll be 1st and 10 for Dartmouth at the 40.
One of the things that's going to be at a premium in conditions like this is wrapping up, finishing the tackle, and getting a lot of guys to the ball carrier. If you're the defensive player, very easy to slip a tackle in this weather.
Connor Kempe, the quarterback, the senior from Tequesta, Florida. 6 different players, including 4 quarterbacks, have attempted a pass this year. It's been a revolving door, but Kempe is coming off his best game of the season last week against Columbia. 15 of 24, 143 yards. And we're ready to play their first possession, their first snap here, 1st and 10 from their own 40. The Big Green in the road white. And it's play action right from the start. Kempe across the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended for Garrett Bobb, as Dartmouth not afraid to throw in the snow and the wind here at the stadium on 1st down. Also offensively for the Big Green, playing without Tim McManus, the senior captain, out with a concussion. You see the front line of Cook, O'Neill, Fletcher as the center, Fowler, and Sheave. Nick Schwieger, as we talked about, running the football. Babb, who is just the intended receiver. McManus is out of the mix here today. He is not playing. It'll be Schoenthaler and Patterson, the freshmen, who will be the receivers. And here is Schwieger on 2nd down and 10, and a gain of 6 for the man who's led the Ivy League in rushing this year. Defensively for the Crimson, Sickle, Ortiz, Obukwelu, and Lyon, the front 4 for Harvard. Schneider, Josh Boyd, a big hitter, the middle linebacker, and Alex Gideon out there as well. We'll also see Schneider in addition to Norman, and the secondary, Hansen, Minamidi, Curtin, and Owusu. So 3rd down and 4, first possession for Dartmouth. Kempe out of the shotgun. To give to Schwieger, right side, and he gets away from Ortiz and gets just enough, I think, for the 1st down.
That's going to be close. They had to get almost to the Harvard 49-yard line, but they're moving the chains. Looks like they gave it to him. Watch right here. You're going across the formation right there. He could have had the tackle made. Whoa, that's pretty close. That knee was down before the 50-yard line, but it's tough even for the referees in these conditions.
It was actually Alexander Norman on the pursuit. They do give the 1st down to the Big Green, right at midfield, 1st and 10 for Dartmouth. And again, it's Schwieger. And again, positive yards for Dartmouth on the ground. Harvard against the run has been very good, giving up 90 yards a game. That's 9th in FCS. That's even after Princeton went for 267 yards on the ground. And there's the rest of the Harvard D, the secondary, anchored by the cornerback, 4-year standout Matthew Hansen. And ball possession, controlling the clock, is game key #1 for Dartmouth here today. We know Harvard, very dynamic offense, even in these conditions. They're going to try to score quickly. Dartmouth wants to really grind the clock here, and they'll do it on the ground.
And Dartmouth's defense could always use the help of a good time possession game for the offense.
Kempe, a little option here, and there's Ortiz with the body slam and a loss on the play.
That's a little bit of a statement tackle right there.
I'll say he was probably held on the play, or the play before.
Watch as Kempe tries to come down here. Never really has a chance to option. The option guy's too far away. And we saw Ortiz slanting to the inside. Comes up. That's an easy tackle. Look, that's a body slam. Is that legal?
Tim Murphy told us this week about Ortiz. We can't block him in practice. In games, he gets double teamed on every play. He gets held and tackled more than any player we've ever seen at Harvard. No stopping him on that play. It's 3rd down and 7 now for Dartmouth. Schwieger Little hesitation, looking for somewhere to go, and ended up getting about 2 on the play to the 45-yard line, but it's 4th and 5 coming up for Dartmouth.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes going across the line of scrimmage like that and then trying to cut up field in these conditions. Even as good as the field turf is, it still makes it a little more difficult to accelerate out of that cut.
Daniel Barstein on to punt for Dartmouth, and it's Saitu Smith III, the freshman, inside his 15. There is a very strong wind here, and Barstein is kicking into it here for his first punt. Drop the snap and gets it away. Fair catch called for. And it bounces back towards the 20 and touched dead at the 16. Harvard on offense when we come back to the stadium. With 117 wins at Harvard, that would put them even #1 all-time at Harvard. Collier Winters to throw on first down, and he finds Kyle Juszczyk. First down and more, and a good first play from scrimmage for the Crimson.
Well, a good run fake right there, and the good fortune of having them in man defense too.
How about the numbers for Collier Winters, who was injured in the season opener against Holy Cross, left hamstring injury, and returned as the starter last week. And went off for 403 yards. Ball knocked down, incomplete. Defending J.B. Andreassi. Here's the rest of the Harvard offense, along with Collier Winters. Trevor Scales is their #1 running back, but up front it's Kevin Murphy, the best offensive lineman, pro prospect for this Harvard team. This is a offensive line that's gone through a lot of changes, with starters going down with injuries. Scales is their top runner, and there will be no shortage of receivers targeted by Collier Winters here this evening. On second down, they go to the ground in a big hole for Trevor Scales into the secondary. Scales trying to break free, and he does. Brought down at the 24-yard line. A big run by Trevor Scales, who's had some big games against Dartmouth.
Well, Harvard doing great misdirection right there. The fake to the man coming across, heading it off to Scales right up the middle. Now it's just a matter of speed. Good thing Eberhoff had the speed to catch him up. He would have been gone. Watch the misdirection right there. You got to respect that fake. They give the ball to so many different people on that offense. You have to respect almost every fake they give.
Ball spotted at the 23-yard line. A 42-yard run for Scales. The pass outside and wrapped up and bringing down Alex Sarkisian was Joey Casey. Here is the defense for the Big Green with Phillips, Smith, Egaloo, and O up front. Linebackers anchored by Bronson Green, 3rd on the team in total tackles with 46, coming off 2-interception game against Columbia. Loss of 2 on the play. Second down and 12. Back to Scales on the ground. And not much room this time as Dartmouth there defensively. 3rd and long play coming up. Played a little bit more than 5 minutes here in the first quarter.
Dartmouth doing a good job of stringing that out, keeping their lanes, and not letting Scales go in between any of those gaps.
The line for the heater is going to be a long one here tonight. Get in for a few seconds and get out, fellas. 3rd down and 10. Harvard needs to get to the 13 for a first down, but before the ball is snapped, the whistle stops play, and now the finger pointing starts. And it's going to be a procedure call against Harvard, which will bring up a 3rd down and 15. And now the officials will talk things over. William Boyd is our referee here tonight.
The only question, it was obvious that Dartmouth came offsides. The only question is, were they drawn offsides? That's a lot of thinking for a referee right there. Gets drawn offsides, causing the offensive lineman to move prematurely.
So instead of a 3rd and 15, make it a 3rd down and 5 here for Harvard. Again, needing to get inside the 13 for a first down. Winters, well, he can beat you with his feet. That's a play that didn't look like it was coming together the way they designed it, but Winters is pretty good at making something out of nothing.
Either the quarterback faced the wrong way or the tailback went the wrong way or they both hesitated, but either way, Winters was able to make a gain out of it and get that first down. Pretty quick thinking by that young man.
Just enough for the first down, so it is first down and 10 from the 13 for Harvard. Their opening drive here against Dartmouth. Winters play action to Scales. The pass open in the end zone was Juszczyk looking for his 5th touchdown of the season, but Winters couldn't connect. Second down.
I have a feeling that was the play they were trying to run last time. Watch this, they follow through with the fake right here. It looks very similar just the other way, and now they see wide open over the middle. It's tough throwing conditions, but that one should have been an easy completion.
Winters in his 2 games this season completing at a 71% rate. 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
400 yards last week.
The win against Princeton, 56-39. Second and 10. Winters will tuck it away. Inside the 10, inside the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Harvard.
2 or 3 good moves on that touchdown run.
Winters very accurate with the arm, but very good with the feet as well. And Harvard scores on their opening drive.
Watch this, the fake. You got to respect the fake again. Look at that, 2, 3, 4 moves, and the last one straight into the end zone. You can see why the coach was happy to get him back.
Not that they had a big drop-off in production to Colton Chapel.
They're still the top passing rated team in the Ivy League with your backup quarterback.
All right, we'll work on this together. I think it's good.
No.
It is not good. It hits the upright. It's hard to see through the snow and what's on the lens, and apparently it was a little tough for Modander to figure out as well. 13-yard touchdown run for the senior from Claremore, Oklahoma, Collier Winters, and Harvard's on top 6-0.
I can only tell by the rattling of the field goal post. Watch the run from the backside here. This was the first down, to get the first down run right here. A little bit of a blown play, but Winters making the best of it, getting the first down that led to the opportunity for that 13-yard touchdown run on the second next play.
So Winters runs twice. The first one gave Harvard a first down, and the second run gives them a touchdown. So the Crimson trying to improve to 4-0 in Ivy League play and come out of this Saturday all alone atop the Ivy League standings.
Very impressive.
First.
Very impressive opening drive, highlighted by a long run by Scales and some pretty good ball handling by Winters.
Motander to kick it away. Abuhoff had a good return last time, bringing it out to the 40. And it's sent in his direction again. Now backpedaling and through his hands. The wind at the back of Harvard here in the first quarter, and that ball just seemed to catch a little bit of the jet stream and slip right through the hands of Abuhoff. So Dartmouth ready for their second possession, and this the 115th meeting all time between the Crimson and the Big Green, dating back to 1882. Dartmouth last won in this series here at the stadium in 2003, 30-16. Andrew Hall had a memorable fourth quarter catch on 3rd and 28, setting up a touchdown and giving Dartmouth an upset win. And last year you saw 30-14 final at Memorial Field for the Crimson. Collier Winters had 2 touchdown runs in that game. He has 1 in this game. Kempe to pass on first down, and it's complete. A gain of about 6 as he finds his tight end, John Gallagher.
Well, you see they did the exact same play they did on the first play of their opening drive. A little fake to the outside, stand up tall. Instead of getting a receiver crossing the field and having to hit him in stride, you go to a tight end who's posted up and boxing out a defensive back or a linebacker. Much easier throw for the quarterback.
And you'll see, too, the differing styles here. Dartmouth will huddle up. They'll work the play clock a little bit. They're in no big hurry, whereas Harvard will not huddle. They'll keep things moving and try to push the tempo. On the ground, Schwieger comes near side, trying to turn the corner, but Harvard closes the gap quickly.
Just trying to beat the defense to the corner. Harvard's got a fast defense. You're going to You have to have a little more blocking if you're going to try to go the speed route against that Harvard defense.
Dan Minamidi is the one who got there, the senior from Escondido, California. 3rd down and 3. You see the numbers spread out here for Schwieger, over 700 yards. Although playing against Harvard has been a problem. Last time he played here at the stadium as a sophomore, broke a finger in that game. Kempe to throw, it's complete. 1st down and much more for the Big Green across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Garrett Babb pulls it in, the senior from Shawnee, Oklahoma's 3rd catch of the season. And it keeps the chains moving for Dartmouth, which will be so important here tonight.
And 2 good throws by Kempe. The second one right here, standing tall in the pocket, sees the receiver, hits it right in between the linebackers. Just a perfect throw. A couple very good throws. Watch that. He catches them right in that zone, right in between the linebackers, underneath one and in front of the other for a nice gain.
With McManus out today with that concussion, and that was a game we saw against Penn when he suffered that injury, and he's been trying to get back. It's Schoenthaler, it's Patterson, but in this case it's someone else. Garrett Babb, and another pass of the catch, and a 1st down, and Gallagher breaks a tackle to get a couple of more yards. John Gallagher has been a big part of this offense. Now 15 catches on the season.
And we see that this is something Dartmouth obviously has been working on. This has been open so far 3 times today in one variation or the other, whether it's a tight end in the middle, a tight end posting up, or a receiver coming across the middle. They seem to have something that they saw in the films that they look to exploit.
Tim Murphy told us this week coming into this game too, Steve, that he expected Dartmouth to use a lot of play action, and we saw it on that play, and we've seen it a few times here tonight, and it's worked even though Harvard's been prepared for it. Schwieger on the ground. Again, a little hesitation at the line, and that gives Harvard enough time to get out there to push him back with Ortiz giving the final shove.
At least Ortiz was nice enough not to body slam
no body
like
slam
he did. Kempe. Right here as you come across, trying to get to the outside. Sometimes it's a little tough to plant and get upfield like that, but you've got a lot of Harvard people around that ball carrier. It's going to be tough to get yards with 6 or 7 defenders around you.
The captain for Harvard, Alex Gideon, in the mix as well. No gain on the play for Schwieger. 2nd down and 10, closing in on 6 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. 6-0 Harvard. Kempe shotgun, sees a little bit of an opening, and it goes away pretty quickly. Falls forward for perhaps 2 yards.
Well, it looked like it opened up a little bit more. And he steps back into the pocket. It looked like he had a little more room, and he hesitates slightly as he goes forward. Right here, there's a little hesitation, able to somehow get away from Josue Ortiz. Ortiz doesn't let that happen. He sees a quarterback, he starts drooling.
6 sacks for Ortiz this season. Total of 8 tackles for loss. 3rd down, you see 40% for the Big Green. They're facing a 3rd down and 8. Need to get inside the 19 for a 1st down. They're going to try to do it on the ground with Schwieger. Another little stutter step at the line, and Harvard there to close him out and bring him down for no gain.
Yeah, it's tough to run the corners against this Harvard defense. You've got a lot of speed. And watch what the Harvard, look at the defense. All the defensive linemen are standing up. That might have some difficulty on their blocking assignments. Right there, Schwieger, pretty good speed, but that Harvard secondary speed and linebacker speed is a little tough to overcome.
Chris Splinter there to finish things out for Harvard. So on 4th down, they do give Schwieger a yard. 4th down and 7 from the 26. Going into the win, Dartmouth will go for it.
Look for the same play fake, tight end open over the middle.
Kempe shotgun. Looking, throwing, and complete. Garrett Babb again. 1st down, a 4th down conversion for the Big Green.
Slot receiver, plenty of time. He was able to make a nice completion once he passed by the coverage. Look at all the time that Kempe has in the pocket. He's just standing there. Nobody's coming near him. Steps up a little bit, has plenty of time, allows Babb to clear the coverage. Very good pass for a 1st down. Difficult throw in these conditions. A little bit behind him. Very good catch by Babb. Probably the right call. 4th down.
1st and 10 from the 15 for Dartmouth. They've been able to pick up 1st downs here this evening. See if they can get into the end zone. They go to Dominic Pierre, his 1st carry, and a gain of 4 for Pierre, who had 67 yards on the ground, and the 37-0 win for Dartmouth against Columbia. So Dartmouth obviously feeling good after that win. And I know Harvard was coming out of the Princeton game. They scored 56 in that game, but they gave up 39 points, and they gave up 556 total yards, and we've seen Dartmouth able to move the football here on their second possession.
Dartmouth's the only times they've stopped themselves. So far, so good for their offense, and they're holding on to the ball and keeping the Harvard offense off the field.
Second down and 6. Good throw by the quarterback, the senior Kempe, and a first down for Dartmouth. It'll be first and goal inside the 5. One thing we're noticing too, and we saw Dartmouth and Penn, Kempe doubting himself maybe, but he's got a little confidence here tonight, it would seem.
What we did see when he played Penn was that he seemed better in a 2-minute drill, and he seemed better when he was didn't have to think as much and do as many different scenarios. In this situation, they're putting him in shotgun. They're showing him that they have a pretty good idea who the open receiver is going to be. They've done a good job so far.
Kempe has played in each game, but did not start against Holy Cross. Dan Rooney did not start against Yale. Andy Gay did, but playing well against Columbia and playing well here. Schwieger tried to break that tackle, but could not. Still, it's a positive gain for the Ivy League's leading rusher, brought down by Josh Boyd. Second and goal.
Just a little power running right here. Follow the guard through, get positive yards, get close to that end zone. It was a first down run. Now you're in good shape. 2nd and 2 yards. Dartmouth doesn't mind grinding the clock out a little bit.
No question. Less than 2.5 to play now. And I believe a timeout being called here by Dartmouth. Buddy Tevens had run onto the field a little bit to get that timeout. Wants to make sure they've got the right personnel and the right call in here. As on the road, they've fallen behind 6-0, but on their second possession, they're knocking on the door inside the 5. Back for 2nd and goal when we come back to the stadium. That takes it out to the 13-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 13 for Dartmouth.
Probably 2-down territory.
Kempe steps up and throws underneath. Finds the freshman, Schoenthaler. Brought down at the 10. Now, Foley Schmidt, we have seen, has a very strong leg no matter what the weather conditions are, and they would not be afraid to bring him out, and they will send the field goal unit out. We saw him kick his career long in the rain in Hanover against Penn, 46 yards, but now they have to try to plant his foot in the snow here at Harvard. And he and his holder Barstein try to clear out a little path.
Any other time you'd say a 27-yard attempt is fairly straightforward, but not in these conditions. Everything from the snap to the placement to the placement of your foot.
27-yard attempt for Foley Schmidt. Kick is on the way.
Yes.
It looks good, and it's right through. The senior from Inner Grove Heights, Minnesota. Now 7 for 9 this year on field goals, and he gets Dartmouth on the board here in the snow at 6-3.
He doesn't even blink. He just powers this through. This would have been good from another 15, 20 yards out. If you can barely make it, it looks kind of ghostly on this Halloween weekend right there with that replay. But you saw the ball just drilled it. He's a sharp young man. Now he's smart. Now he's even smart too. Good.
Steve Diassi, let the record show he is called a kicker smart. So that's good. That usually doesn't happen.
He went into the heated tunnel.
Let's go downstairs to Katie.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Well, I'm down here on the sideline with Dartmouth Director of Athletics, Harry Shee. Harry, you've been with the team for a year now. How do you like working with the D1 squads?
Oh, it's been great. Dartmouth's a wonderful place, wonderful school, great tradition. Everybody's been very welcoming to my wife, Connie, and I, and we're just thrilled to be in Hanover. And by the way, it's 70 degrees and sunny in Hanover right now.
Yeah, let's not talk about that, okay? Now, for the future of the program, what do you see? What do you envision?
Well, we have lots of work to do. For the future of our football program, I think we've done a lot of hard work. A lot of heavy lifting was done before I got there, frankly, and we're hoping to start to see the benefits of that. For our program across the board, I think we're just raising the envelope, asking our coaches to compete very hard and bring the best student athletes they can in the country to Dartmouth.
Now, just switching gears to tonight, you guys are 0-7 against Harvard in recent years. What is the key to success tonight to turn that around?
Well, it'll have to be the first time in 8 years that we've scored more points than they have at the end of a game. But I think, obviously, the game, the ball's being thrown pretty well right now. It's kind of shocking. But I think we're going to have to run the ball effectively and pick our spots in passing and then tackle very well in this weather.
Harry, thank you very much for joining us. Go get warm. Let's send it back upstairs to Eric and Steve, guys.
Yeah, well, Harry's right. I mean, the promotional materials for Dartmouth College say it's always 70 and sunny.
That's right.
In Hanover.
Uh-huh.
Maybe Hanover, Mexico, if there is such a place.
I'm sure
but
there
not,
is.
Not here today. Scoring drive, 14 plays, 70 yards. Kempe has done well here in the snow, 6 of 7 for 71 yards.
Yeah, go figure. Better than you would have imagined coming into the game. But he's basically been in the shotgun, and he's standing tall, and he's giving his receivers a chance to come open. And I think he's probably not thinking as much as he has in the past.
So the kick into the wind delivered by Riley Lyons, the kick specialist, and it's taken to the 15 by Smith, who has an opening. Turns it out to midfield and is driven out of bounds by the kicker, Riley Lyons, but a big return by a guy who's made some big plays since coming to Harvard from Deerfield Beach, Florida. It's Saitu Smith III.
You can sort of see it open up as you watch these images come across. He takes the first cut. The best thing about him is he gets up to speed very quick. Pretty good tackle on the outside. Watch how quickly he gets up to speed after that first cut. One cut and go. So many special teams coaches will tell you that you get up to speed, you make that one cut, and you accelerate off of that. That's exactly what Smith has done. He's very, very good at it.
Averaging 31 yards, I beg your pardon, per return. That's 4th in FCS. Does have a kickoff return for a touchdown, 91-yarder against Bucknell, the first freshman to return a kick for a touchdown in Harvard history. Winter sets up the screen on first down. Dartmouth was there for it. It is a gain of about 4 for Zach Bowden. Want to get to the rest of the Dartmouth defense, but you know, Harvard no huddle, don't have much time to get to these things. It's Hussey, Runger, Green. Among the crew, you'll see cycling in there at the linebacker spot, Abuhoff, Casey, DeBlasi, and Andreassi. Final seconds of the first quarter, 2nd down and 7. Winters gives it off, and again, it's yards and plus yards and plenty of yards for freshman Zach Bowden. Finally brought down inside the 20. Now let's call inside the 25. Brought down at the 21-yard line. I'm going to chalk that one up to the snow. And since we're at the end of the first quarter, that gives him a chance to shovel off some of the yard lines here because the snow is falling at the stadium. Winters fell into the end zone for the only touchdown of the first quarter, 6-3 Harvard.
3rd and goal, Ken.
As the snow continues to fall, and it's going to be falling all game long. First down to 10 for Harvard to start quarter number 2. And it's a big hit, but bouncing off is Bowden. Dragging defenders inside the 10. Joey Casey came up and delivered the hit, but Bowden, the freshman, bounced right off it and kept on going.
How about that for a freshman, taking a hit like that from a safety coming full steam, bouncing off. Watch this. Giving the ball to Bowden, going right up the middle, following his one blocker. Watch that. Casey with a nice squared up hit. Doesn't wrap up. And now Bowden trying furiously to get to that end zone. Tough running.
Again, it's Bowden on the ground, up the middle, and carrying the pile into the end zone. Freshman's the star on drive number 2 for Harvard as they're in to make it 12-3.
Got to give him the touchdown after 2 very good runs on that drive. Coach understands you reward a kid. Watch this again. Coming around the back side of the quarterback, wide open, following his blocks. The Harvard offensive line getting good push on Dartmouth's front 7.
Gains of 20, 13, and 8 yards for Bowden as he goes into the end zone for the touchdown to make it 12-3 with the extra point upcoming. Now Harvard kicking into the wind as Modander missed the first extra point attempt. No problem this time though. Point after is good, and with 14:30 to go in the second quarter, the Crimson have taken a 13-3 lead.
And Dartmouth is doing a great job of holding on to the ball. It's just that Harvard scores quickly. You're doing what you want offensively. You're holding on to the ball. You're dominating the time of possession. But the fact is, when it only takes Harvard a couple of minutes to score, it doesn't help. Watch this run right here. Watch the offensive line in particular. Look at that Harvard offensive line driving back. It's 4 or 5 yards before Bowden even ends up getting close to a Dartmouth defender. That's just outstanding offensive line play by Harvard.
So Bowden with the 8-yard touchdown run, but credit to this offensive line. Kevin Murphy is the anchor of that offensive line, the left tackle, the senior pro prospect, John Collins, Jack Kaluba, Austin Sheffley, Will Whitman, a freshman who's on the Jerry Rice Award watch list for the nation's top freshmen. This is a unit that's kind of moved around a little bit with some injuries. Last year's right tackle tackle Brent Osborne and moved on to Seattle. He was on their practice squad until the middle of September. So they've replaced quite a few people up front. That includes Ben Stabler, right guard, who was diagnosed with a brain tumor. He's currently undergoing cancer treatments. His football career, according to his coach, is over, but he's still attending classes at Harvard and rooting on the Crimson. Kick is taken at the 19-yard line and brought down at the 30 as Andrew Donahue made it to the 30, but leading the charge for Harvard was Matt Martindale. And taking the congratulations on the sidelines. Well, Dartmouth has done well in this game to move the chains. They've dominated time of possession. They've put 3 points on the board. They've gotten good play from their quarterback, but you look at the scoreboard, they're down 13-3.
Yeah, they've actually done it throwing the ball, too. You assumed Schwieger was going to be the big difference in this game, but so far, Connor Kempe stepped up and thrown the ball well.
Kempe will try again, and he throws to Schwieger out of the backfield. Nick Schwieger so tough to bring down. He won't go down without a fight, that's for sure. Gain of 7.
Connor Kempe looking solid in the pocket, goes through his progression here. Watch this. He's just standing there, big tall kid. He's going through his progressions, doesn't see anything, knows he's got Schwieger in the check down, throws it out there for a nice 7 or 8 yard gain.
Gideon and Riley in on the tackle for Harvard. 2nd down and 3. 3 wide receivers for the Big Green, and the give is to Schwieger. Got a little block from his quarterback, Kempe. That's a 1st down for Dartmouth. That's their 6th first down of the first half.
Well, they haven't had trouble moving the ball. Watch this. The running back is positioned behind the quarterback. That's usually a good sign that he's going to get the ball. Schwieger makes a good cut and a good twirl and down for another 6 yards. Dartmouth's moving the ball fine. It's not their issue tonight.
Schwieger, the all-time leading rusher in Dartmouth history, won the Ivy rushing title the last 2 years. Over 2,500 yards in his career. Kempe to throw on 1st down. Across the middle, and that's been his favorite target here tonight, Garrett Babb. Looks like he may be banged up at the end of that play. Gain of 8.
This is actually one of his best throws of the night so far. Kempe's done a great job completing passes, but this one he actually puts in a very tight area. You can see a perfect throw right there. Defenders all over it. Yeah, Babb gets a little hit at the end. That could be a shoulder or a head, I'm not sure, or neck. But that might have been Kempe's best throw yet.
Adam Riegel comes on for Harvard on this 2nd down and 2 play. The give is to Schwieger. Again, it gets stretched out here as Harvard's brought a lot of people to the line once Schwieger gets the football, and he's only able to turn it up for any positive yardage.
And not only are you running it wide, you're running it wide into the short side of the field, which makes it even more difficult. Watch how many Harvard guys are over there already. Look at this. There's no way you're going to get past all these guys. I don't care if you're Schwieger or anyone with that kind of speed is just not going to be able to turn the corner in this situation. The defensive line for Harvard getting pretty good push on that offensive line in the run game. They haven't been there in the pass game, but in the run game, the defensive line is doing a great job.
3rd and 3. Kempe finds a man wide open, and it's dropped.
Oh.
Schoenthaler had it, the freshman out of Oklahoma. 16 catches on the season, but can't haul that one in, and the punt unit will come on for Dartmouth.
There's a freshman mistake for you. He looked away at the very last second. Kempe set in the pocket, does a nice job. You can just barely see a little bit. Schoenthaler looking upfield before he catches the ball. You got to look the ball into your hands first. He's a good receiver. He'll figure that out.
So Barstein comes on the punt. Wind at his back here. Smith standing at the 10. Barstein has put 8 punts this year inside the 20. Wobbly line drive. Smith will let it go, and Dartmouth trying to save it, and a great job done by the Big Green as the football sliding on the snow towards the end zone, but great job by the special teams of Dartmouth to touch it at the 1. That's where Harvard will set up when we come back. have to get FCS. With over 600 live NCAA events year-round and the biggest lineup of coach and magazine shows in the country, FCS is the place where college never ends. To request FCS, call 1-877-2-GET-FCS or visit us at foxcollegesports.com. Barstein and the Big Green pinning Harvard deep. They start at their one. 2 possessions for the Crimson so far in this game. They've scored touchdowns to cap off each drive.
And both drives have been part of a big running game that they've had so far.
Trying to get out of the shadow of the end zone, although that's odd to say here on a night game. Harvard's been playing games under the lights here since 2007. I gotta admit, when this came out in the schedule, say, oh, nice late autumn evening under the lights, 6 o'clock start. What could go wrong?
A little afternoon tailgating over on the river.
Yeah, I will give credit to many of the Dartmouth and Harvard fans who decided to continue tailgating. You just have to pull your umbrellas in a economical way. Winters nowhere to go here as he's out to the 5. No gain on the play. 3rd down coming up.
That actually looked like another broken play too. It seems like there's some communication issues between Scales and Winters, and I'm not sure. He's holding the ball out there like someone's either supposed to fake it or take it, and neither's happening. He ends up running the ball.
3rd down. Called a long 6. Harvard's been good on 3rd down this season, converting at 44%.
Big play for the Dartmouth defense here.
They go to the air. Winters throws, finds a man open. 1st down for Harvard. Pass complete to Cameron Brates. Now, Brate is someone who has been a favorite target of the quarterbacks, a sophomore from Naperville, Illinois. That's his 19th reception of the season.
You can see why he's a big kid, and this isn't an easy throw in any weather conditions, thrown against your body, rolling out the opposite way. A little bobble on the receiving end, but still a completion and a 1st down.
De Blasi on the tackle. Winters scrambles out of trouble, throws incomplete. Trying to find Matt Brown. Second down coming up for Harvard. Harvard has scored 40 points or more in 3 consecutive games. First time that's happened for a Harvard team since 1932.
That's a lot of games.
They've scored on their first 2 possessions, but since Dartmouth has done so well to move the chains and burn some clock, we've got 10 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter. And this is just possession number 3 for Harvard. Scales falling forward. Looks like he's got enough for a 1st down. Well, it's quite a 1-2 punch. We saw Trevor Scales on the first drive, and then Zach Bowden on the 2nd drive. Now Scales getting the call. And
Scales smart enough to know that you got to follow those big offensive linemen. The offensive line start to assert themselves against this smaller Dartmouth defensive front.
5th in the Ivy with 79 yards per game for Trevor Scales. Scales will get the call again. And another good gain for Scales. On 3rd and 1, he brings it out across the 40 for a 1st down.
You know, you look at the stats, and Harvard as a team is number 1 and 2 in almost every offensive stat, but their individual numbers are, 5th, 6th, 7th in the league. But as a team, they spread the ball around. They've got a lot of athletes there that can put some yards on them.
Yeah, how about the total yards? 419 per game.
Yep.
Last 2 games, 414, 403. That's just passing, 414 and 403.
Right.
419 when you add it all together on average this season.
Yep. Now watch this. You can see a bigger picture of that Harvard offensive line. They're basically resetting the line of scrimmage 2 or 3 yards deep into the Dartmouth territory. A little slant by Dartmouth ends up getting a play for no gain.
Eddie Smith comes up with the stop. Bowden gets away from a couple of tackles. He's done that very well here for Harvard tonight. He takes it out just shy of the 50. That means it's going to be about a yard shy of a 1st down.
Bowden's like a little pinball. Watch him in here. He comes in here, gets hit once here, boom, bounces off another guy, boom, spins, another guy comes in. He's a good hard runner.
Winters holds on to it, has the 1st down and more, and Collier Winters won't slide in at the end of a run. He'll keep his head up and he'll keep moving. So a first down for Harvard. And the offensive numbers have been quite impressive. You see the total offense, the scoring offense. They lead the league in rushing defense. And without fail, when we ask Tim Murphy game keys, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. Ball security is the only one they talk about. Winters going up top, a perfect throw, and it's complete. Alex Sarkisian has it, and the senior has a first down. What a throw by Winters.
And there was never a question as to where he was going to throw. He came out from that play action fake knowing exactly where he was going with the ball. Sarkisian able to box. Watch this little play action. Hold on to the defense with it. He comes right up throwing. Knows exactly where he's going to. And watch it. You can't see it, but right before, that's a great catch over the shoulder. Right before that, Sarkisian ends up boxing out the defender a little bit like a basketball rebounder.
27-yard completion from Winters to Sarkisian. Now Winters trying to throw, scrambling right, tucks it away, and will head out of bounds at the 10.
I guess this is Harvard's version of ball control. I mean, it's a 90-something yard drive so far, 89-yard drive. But their ball control means 27-yard passes, 9-yard runs, different running backs, different receivers.
Well, when you're scoring 40 points or more in 3 consecutive games, you're going to be getting what you want for the most part. We've seen that for Harvard here tonight and on this drive that started at their own 1. Winters has it. And he's not done yet. There's the whistle.
Now tell me if that's a design play, but that's got to be the 3rd or 4th time. Watch the quarterback hold the ball out like this and the running back goes the other way. Yeah, I could see it happening once or twice a mistake, but that's happened 3 or 4 times so far. I wonder if that's just some misdirection that they're drawing up. Hard to imagine they'd make the same mistake 3 times in 1.5 quarters of football.
One thing's for sure, Winters can sure improvise.
Yeah, he has so far.
3rd down play coming up for Harvard. 6.5 minutes to go, 2nd quarter. A handoff to Bowden. Bowden, this time he is stopped, and it looks like he's going to be maybe a half yard short of the first down. It's going to be very close.
Yep. If he's short, I wouldn't be surprised. Watch Bowden again, trying to come right off tackle up the middle, following the pulling guard. Gets stopped just a little bit short. I knew Harvard would go for this. 4th and less than a yard. It only makes sense.
4 for 8 on 4th down this season are the Crimson, and Bowden has it, but fumbles into the end zone. Ball is free and picked up
They got it.
for a touchdown. Kyle Juszczyk picked it up for the Crimson, but there's a whistle. Hang on 1 second. Hard to see if there's a flag on the play, but I see the officials talking things over because the question is, did Bowden make it into the end zone? The ball came free. I think they may just spot this at the 1. Let's get the call. Mike. Well, you would think on a night where the snow is falling and the temperatures are dropping that the microphone's going to freeze up, but I believe they're going to spot it at the 1 because the ball was fumbled forward before Bowden reached the end zone.
And another player can't recover it in the end zone for a touchdown. It's a pretty good hit. Just an inside handoff. Bowden putting the shoulder down.
Yeah, he definitely did not get over the line.
Yep.
So forget about the cover up there by Juszczyk. It is a 1st and goal, though, for Harvard at about the 2.
Harvard trying to put the finishing touch on what would be a 98 or 99-yard drive.
Look at this setup in the backfield. Multiple choice for Winters. He will give it to Scales, and Scales is into the end zone for another Harvard touchdown. A 99-yard drive ends in a touchdown for Trevor Scales.
Yeah, they got 3 possible runners in the backfield, but it's not really a question. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to use that big offensive line just to make enough room. All you needed was a yard. Of course, you're going to give it to Scales, and of course, you're going to trust that big offensive line.
The extra point upcoming as Trevor Scales scores the touchdown. That's his 5th of the season. And as we mentioned before, Scales has had a couple of good years against Dartmouth. The point after is good. And with 5:36 to go in the second quarter, Harvard on their snowy home field leads Dartmouth by 17. Caps off a 99-yard drive with a 1-yard run. Abuhoff tried to get there in time, but it was too late. 15 plays, Steve Diassi, 99 yards for Harvard. They've been impressive on offense.
And some third down conversions and a fourth down conversion and a big pass play and some nice running on the inside and the outside. Just a well-rounded offensive drive for 99 yards.
So far tonight, Harvard is 4 of 5 on their third down conversions and 1 for 1 on the fourth down conversions. And that's the line for the heater on the sideline.
We knew they were good on third down coming in, but those are obscene numbers.
Bouncing ball picked up at the 30 by Gallagher as he takes it out across the 35, trying to get to the 40-yard line. And he stopped just short at about the 39. I beg your pardon. It is Garrett Wymore on the return for Dartmouth. So the Big Green, they've controlled the clock.
Yep.
They've moved the football. They've gotten something from their quarterback, which is surprising today. 8 of 10 for Kempe for 86 yards, whereas on the ground, just 22 yards on the ground against a very good rush defense for Harvard. Let's see what happens this series.
You wouldn't have expected 8 of 10 on a normal evening, let alone an evening with this type of weather.
Snow and wind. Kempe again to throw. Again, he has an open man, and Babb, who went out with the injury a few moments ago. Good to see him back there. He can't hold on to it, though. And think back, too, they had the wide open look on that last drive to Schoenthaler, the freshman, and couldn't hold on to it.
Yep, and there was the first pass attempt of the game was a drop, too. So that was his first throw that was almost uncatchable. Everything he's thrown so far has been catchable.
Snow coming down hard here. During the timeouts, they send the crew out with shovels to clean off the yard lines. Now Schwiger, more north-south this time, and as a result, he's got 7 yards on second down.
Yeah, as good as Schwiger is, he's not going to go sideline to sideline and then cut it up against this Harvard defense. This defense is entirely too fast, not just the defensive backs, but the linebackers and even your defensive linemen just covering sideline to sideline. You're better off trying to go right up the middle on him with a guy like Schwiger.
Gain of 7 on the play for Schwiger, who has 10 carries and 30 yards. Third down and 3. Kempe to throw on third down. Has Schwiger open. Schwiger is falling forward. Great second effort. It's going to be very close to the first down marker, and he may just have it.
Depends on the spot. It's pretty close. Kempe again in the pocket looking downfield. He knows Schwiger's bending out to the flat over here. Schwiger right now, that's pretty good coverage by Harvard, but Schwiger twisting and turning, coming close to that first down.
He took on Josh Boyd, who's one of the hardest hitters in the Ivy League. So they will bring out the chains for measurement. It is going to be close.
Tough to see through the weather and the ball and the footprints, but it might be a little bit short on this one.
You're right.
Yep. Midfield about a foot short. 4:29 left in the half. You're down 17 points. Your offense has been pretty good so far.
Well, you don't want to give Harvard a short field, but you do want to. Exactly. We just saw exactly my point. You just saw what they could do at 99 yards very quickly.
Right.
I'd say go for it on fourth on this side of the 50 and try to keep the chains moving and try to keep that clock going.
I agree. You hit it right on the head there. Does it really matter at this point? They've had long drives. They've had short drives. They've had running drives. They've had passing drives. Harvard's offense has been able to do exactly what they want when they want. So why not take the ball out of their hands and put it in your offense's hands? Running backs even with the quarterback in the stand set up too.
It's Dominic Pierre, the running back next to Kempe.
If that's a run, that's usually across the body of the quarterback when the running back's even with the quarterback.
Dartmouth on the season 2 for 8 on fourth down. Kempe will get under center and he'll just fall forward, I would think.
For him.
Yes.
Yep.
Plenty out to midfield and a good call, aggressive call by Dartmouth. And I think we're all in agreement the right call as they get out to midfield with 4:20 to go here in the first half.
Lines up in the shotgun, comes up to the line of scrimmage like he's going to yell something out, gets the ball. He's a big kid. Go ahead, get yourself the first down. I tell you, this is we've seen him quite a few times. This is the best we've seen him play, and probably against some of the best competition he's played against too.
And his confidence was low just a few weeks ago. Did not start against Yale or Holy Cross, but he's now started the last 2 games and playing with a lot of confidence here tonight against nationally ranked Harvard. Schwieger hit hard after a gain of about 2. And leading the charge, I believe, was John Lyon, first one in there. 6'3", 265-pound junior from Durham, North Carolina.
Just an easy handoff to the inside. You're right, and there's line coming off. You got to block this. You can't just let him free like that. He's a pretty good ball player. You turn him free like that, he's going to be able to go down the line of scrimmage to the center spot. Schwieger trying to follow the guard up and never had a chance. Lyon just grabbed him before you get started.
2nd down and 8. Play action. Kempe looking long, will throw underneath and incomplete. Matthew Hansen, one of the top cornerbacks since the day he stepped onto the field here in Cambridge 4 seasons ago, comes up with a stop.
And because he's Hansen, he might get a little benefit of a doubt. Looked like there might have been a hint of contact before the ball got there. Kempe again doing a good job. Yeah, I don't know, maybe a little bit. Kempe under pressure, throwing a pretty good ball under pressure. That's actually, he got the hand in there before the contact. That's a good breakup.
Hansen, the senior, as a freshman was the Ivy League Rookie of the Year. First team All-Ivy as a sophomore, 2nd team last year. Thrown underneath on 3rd down and nowhere to go. Jonathan Mason comes up with a stop. And now Dartmouth will be forced to punt with 3 minutes to go. Clock running, 2nd quarter. So the Crimson, after Dartmouth had converted on 4th down, they come back with 3 strong stops and force Barstein and the punting unit to come onto the field with Smith back deep for Harvard.
Harvard with 10 men up on the line of scrimmage might be thinking block.
Dartmouth taking some time here. Now down to 5 on the play clock.
Might as well take it off.
Indeed, game clock winding down. High snap, Barstein back for it. Good job to haul it in and get something away here. It's going to hit the deck and take a bounce for Dartmouth, and once again they're going to have a chance to down it inside the 5. Now last time it didn't work out too well for Dartmouth, but you'll take your chances time and again if you can get it inside the 5-yard line. But we have seen Harvard through the years be able to move the football, and it starts with the quarterback. And we've seen Collier Winters here today. Colton Chappell has been good this year. Chris Pizzotti, Liam O'Hagan through the years. But how about the play of Ryan Fitzpatrick, former Harvard quarterback? We'll show you some of what he's been able to do or was able to do against Brown back in 2003. And you know what he's been able to do at the NFL level. But the point is, Harvard, time and again, producing some great quarterbacks.
He's been the best of the bunch, and not just because of his transition to the pros. He was a phenomenal quarterback in college and just all over the place, making plays with his legs, making plays with his arm, but mostly playing the game very, very smart. Just a very solid, smart quarterback, and he's grown so much as a professional quarterback that it's been great to see him do it. And he's had to do it with a few teams too.
Just signed a 6-year, $59 million contract extension on Friday, rewarded for how he's played for the Buffalo Bills. Have you been surprised to see how well he's been able to bring the Buffalo Bills along after what you saw in college?
No, what I saw in college was a quarterback that played with a lot of confidence, but sometimes when you take that leap up from the Ivy League level to the pros, you've got to find a way to gain that confidence. You can't take this Ivy League experience and say it's going to give me professional confidence. You could go there into the pros, work hard in practice, work hard in the weight room, work hard in the classroom, and then start getting the little bits of success that you had, like he did with those other teams. It can translate into further success. Once you believe that you belong in that league like Fitzpatrick has done, then all of a sudden things click, and they've clicked very well for him, and he's got a nice team surrounding him too up there in Buffalo.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, class of 2005, 39 career touchdown passes in his time here at Harvard. His Bills now 4-2 on the season. First down and 10 from the 5 here for Harvard with 2:08 to go. They just had a 99-yard drive, and it's a good start on first down. A gain of about 9 right up the middle. Trevor Scales with another big carry. Harvard with 3 timeouts remaining, 1:50 to go here in the second quarter. Low snap picked up by Winters. And he picks up the first down and a little bit more. That will stop the clock as he takes it out towards, well, now it's getting a little tougher to see the number. I'm going to say 5, 10, 15, 20 yard line here as they'll move the chains.
Yeah, we're just keeping calm with a low snap. The ball actually looked like it hit the ground at one point. Wasn't able to hand the ball off, just followed his running back into the hole.
To the ground. Scales. Gain of about 6. Be sure to stay with us at halftime as Katie Fitzpatrick will have a conversation with the Director of Athletics here at Harvard, Bob Scalise. Busy day here today. You think the football players are going through a lot. 2 soccer teams played in the rain and driving snow just a little while ago. We'll take a look around the Ivy League. Some interesting results here today. We'll update the standings and show you what happened here in the first half. 3 touchdowns for Harvard. A field goal for Dartmouth is where we stand right now with 50 seconds to go before halftime. On second down, a big hit. Now, will Dartmouth use a timeout? Harvard was working some clock and not using a timeout, but now with the stop on second down, bringing up a 3rd down and 5, Dartmouth will use their second timeout. So if you get a stop here, you can use one more timeout and force Harvard to, 1, handle a long snap in the snow with their punting unit, and 2, kick into a very strong wind. Well, that takes a stop on 3rd down.
Surprised Harvard was trying to milk the clock the way they did. They moved the ball with a nice mix of running and passing the whole time. They could have, if they wanted to run the clock out, they could have done it the way they've been doing it.
Wind has been howling all day. The difference is it was rain when the teams first stepped onto the field for pregame warm-ups and then transitioned to snow, and it's a wet snow right now.
Yep.
You can see there are strength in numbers here. The closer you are together, the warmer you'll be.
And the smart fans are up underneath the colonnade. They're trying to stay dry, but look at the fans across the field on the Dartmouth side.
Look at this. You see them
You know
right
what
here.
that looks like? That looks like my Thanksgiving Day game in high school. We played Cambridge Rindge and Latin here, and that was about 5 times the crowd that we had.
They're all tucked up here, finding some shelter.
Those 42 people on the sideline, 20 of which were my family.
3rd down and 5 here. 1 timeout remaining for Dartmouth. Let's see if Winters keeps it himself or gives it to Scales. Winters will keep it. Has some room. Has the first down. The whistle blew the ball dead. No fumble here. They'll stop the clock to move the chains. And now the question is, with 38 seconds left, if you're Harvard, do you just head to the locker room? It looks like they're going to be happy enough to do that with a 17-point lead. And that will indeed be the case as the quarterback is the first one towards the sidelines. Time to get dry. Time to warm up.
Well, they're milling around for something.
Now, the play clock never started up, and it reads 40 right now, but I think that's going to be it for the first half.
Yeah, it was 26 seconds when the play was over, so it shouldn't be an issue.
That will be it. The teams will find some shelter here at halftime. A very good first half for the Harvard Crimson, but Dartmouth did some things on offense. They just don't have the points to show for it.
Connor Kempe's played the best football I've seen him play, and I've watched 4 or 5 games of his at least over the last couple of years, and they just don't have the points to show for it. They just haven't been able to punch it into the end zone when they've had the opportunity.
A 99-yard drive for Harvard, capped off by a Scales 1-yard touchdown run with 5:36 to go in the second quarter, closing out the scoring in the first half. 15 plays for that 99-yard drive that took 6 minutes and 5 seconds. Winters a 13-yard touchdown run, Bowden with an 8-yard touchdown run, and Scales with a 1-yard touchdown run. As in the snow, Harvard has put 3 scores on the board to take a 20-3 lead. And let's go down to the field. Katie is with Harvard head coach Tim Murphy.
All right, thanks, guys. Coach, this weather doesn't seem to be affecting your style of play at all. What did you like out of your team in the first half?
Well, 3 drives, 3 scores in this weather, you got to be happy. The only thing is only getting 3 drives. We got to get off the field. We've got to create some more opportunities for our offense. But anytime you're up 23 in this weather, we'll take it.
All right, well, good luck in the second half. We're going to be back right after this break. Stay tuned.
On all three.
Winters taking things into his own hand for a 13-yard touchdown run right there after a nice drive the length of the field. Pretty good job by the offensive line. And as you look at Zach Bowden, same thing, just powering his way into the end zone for the second touchdown.
Bowden and Scales combining for a pretty impressive 1-2 punch. 133 yards combined between the two of them in the first half on the ground.
Here's Scales touchdown from 1 yard out after that. I believe that was at the end of the 99-yard drive. 15 plays, 99 yards, just a tremendous dominating drive.
Numbers from the first half in just a moment, but we'll show you what Dartmouth did offensively, and they got a good first half from their quarterback, Connor Kempe, who was 10 of 14 for 88 yards.
You would have expected Ivy League leading runner Schwieger to take this game over in these conditions, and he ran pretty well, but for the most part offensively, the story was Connor Kempe doing a very good job overall.
You see the total yardage, 252 for Harvard, 122 for Dartmouth, but the plays were just about even. Harvard ran 32 plays from scrimmage, Dartmouth 31. First downs and edge to Harvard, time of possession and edge to Dartmouth, and Tim Murphy told Katie heading off to the locker room, 3 possessions and a half, you like your percentage of scoring on those possessions, but they only had the ball 3 times as Dartmouth was able to pick up some first downs and move the chains. The question is, can they move it into the end zone in the second half against this stingy Harvard D?
When it counted, the Harvard defense came up with the plays to keep Dartmouth out of the end zone. This is, I really believe, offensively, this is as well as Dartmouth's played against Harvard in a long time. They haven't beaten them since, what, 2003? And offensively, they're moving the ball. They just cannot get it into the end zone right now.
People taking cover during halftime. When we come back, it'll be time to play the second half here at Harvard Stadium with the Crimson on top of the Big Green by 17. Your pet has been howling 22 miles an hour, and it's been gusting. We've seen it here tonight. And the forecast is for more of the same, wind and snow. We're talking maybe 3 inches in the Boston area, but up to a foot just about an hour west of here.
Maybe a careful ride home to Hanover for the Dartmouth team.
Harvard to receive, side to Smith the third, inside the 5. Takes it at the 3. Plenty of room to get some speed going. Now a little hesitation, and he is knocked down. Brought down just outside the 20-yard line. That's where Harvard will go to work. 1st and 10 in their first possession of the second half.
Dartmouth defense has to do something to show that they can stop this Harvard offense. They didn't stop them at all in the first half. Harvard pretty much doing what they wanted to.
252 total yards and 32 plays from scrimmage. Collier Winters, you saw his first half numbers. Ran it 9 times for 55 yards. And it's on the ground for Scales. Scales to the 30. A gain of 6 on first down.
Harvard going right back to the running game that served them so well in the first half.
Harvard, as is their custom, no huddle here to start the second half. Big hole for Scales, trying to turn the corner. He's to the 50 and knocked out of bounds in Dartmouth territory. Big carry for Trevor Scales.
They just keep coming at you. Some things don't change.
Just the names change. Remember the name in the past, Gino Gordon last year with Scales as his understudy, but now it's Scales show with the stiff arm.
And unfortunately, Andreassi was the recipient of the stiff arm. It just never looks good in slow motion or on ISO films.
From the 44-yard line, Winters tucks it away. Across the 35, brought down just at the 35-yard line. A gain of 9 for the 5th-year senior from Claremore, Oklahoma. Tim Murphy told us this week, if he was 6'4", he'd be the quarterback at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
He's a guy who's known for making good decisions. As we said before, he'll beat you with his feet, but he's accurate. He has a quick release. He's just 5'11", and that doesn't translate to being a quarterback for the Oklahoma Sooners, but it's translated very well here for the Harvard Crimson. Bowden in trouble, and Dartmouth is there to take him down for a big loss. Joey Casey coming up from his safety spot to lead the charge.
Dartmouth getting tired of letting Harvard run all over them, so they bring a few more people down into the box, and Casey comes up. First hit there, second hit, and Casey coming up to finish it off. Loss of about 4 or 5 yards. Big third down situation for Dartmouth. Not so much for Harvard. They've pretty much been doing what they wanted to, but Dartmouth needs to get that defense off the field.
Eddie Smith and Mike Banasiski were the ones who got there before Casey came off to finish the job. Winters to throw. Rolling, throwing, complete. Sarkisian is hit short of a first down. Should be about a yard short, but the ball's at the 35-yard line, and
Harvard will not punt on this situation. 35-yard line, no need. Right here, watch Winters just scrambling out, buying time, last second dropping it off to Sarkisian. Pretty good tackle in the open field by Indrasu, but it's just a yard short. Harvard lining up to get the first down. Same formation they used for the 1-yard touchdown plunge.
it's Winters who has it to give to Scales, who had the 1-yard touchdown, and he has enough, I do believe, for a first down, and he does. He's got it by about a yard. So on 4th down, Harvard goes for it in Dartmouth territory, and Scales keeps the chains moving.
Yeah, punting from the 35-yard line really doesn't do you anything. Your defense has been good all game, and your offense has been moving the ball well. Punting from there doesn't serve you any purpose.
1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Winters rolls to his left, throws, and it's complete. Matt Brown has it, and he has another first down for the Crimson.
Yeah, I don't care if you're rolling to your left or your right-handed quarterback. It's not an easy throw, but right here he makes it easy. He just sets up, he sees it, he looks downfield first, realizes that's not open, and comes back to the shorter receiver. Just all the time in the world to make an easy decision.
Murphy talked about getting Brown, an excellent athlete, more involved. Also a member of the basketball team here at Harvard. Bowden spins and is brought down. Luke Hussey, the senior from Seattle, in on the stop.
The freshman likes that spin move. Watch Zach Bowden. He's done this about 4 or 5 times already. You got the finish at the end of the play right there. Luke Hussey making a nice hit, but Zach Bowden, you see that from a lot of young runners. They think that spin move is something that problem is you use it too many times, it gets you into trouble.
Matt O, the first one there on the stop for Dartmouth. Gain of 1, 2nd down to 9. They give to Bowden. Big hole for Bowden. Across the 10 and brought down inside the 5. Freshman's had a big game here this evening. Came in averaging 34 yards a game, but he has gone well past that now.
One cut and straight up field. That's the kind of running any coach loves to see. He saw the gap open real quick. Watch this, boom, one plant and cut, go. Straight up field, outrunning the linebackers and the defensive line.
1st and goal for Harvard. Winters scrambling, still running, has some room and reaches the end zone. Touchdown Harvard. A guy who threw 5 touchdown passes last week. You have to respect the arm, but he will get you on the ground. Another touchdown for Harvard.
Looks to his left, sees that both receivers are covered, sprints out to the right side. Right about now, he realizes he can run for the touchdown. Just a little bit of a pump fake to try to freeze the defensive backs, and he's going to beat anybody there to the corner.
Collier Winters had 2 touchdown runs against Dartmouth last year. He has 2 touchdown runs tonight to give the Crimson a comfortable lead and tack a point onto it. 27-3, Harvard on top. All smiles on the Harvard sideline as Collier Winters scores for the 2nd time tonight, in the Crimson leading in the snow at home.
When you become a part of a sport at Dartmouth, you're becoming part of something a whole lot bigger than you ever could have imagined.
The bond between two Dartmouth people is really special because even if it's separated by 10 or 20 years, they know that they have a common experience. It's neat to really just get together and to learn through each other.
This is where I'm from, and this is me. Like, Dartmouth is who I am.
Success is a commitment to getting every detail right.
Well, Harvard has done a great job converting on their drives. 4 drives here tonight, 4 touchdowns, the latest. A 4-yard touchdown run by Collier Winters, Steve.
And you look at Harvard with the offensive line opening big holes for Trevor Scales, a nice stiff arm there for a big gain, just marching their way downfield. And of course, Zach Bowden right here hitting it upfield quick and fast. And Winters improvising a little bit, realizing he can't hit his receivers out to the left. Pump fake, dive for the end zone. Great drive, another, 77-yard drive there. They've had some nice long drives.
They've set a new season high for rushing yardage in a game. So far tonight, 32 carries, 249 yards for Harvard on the ground. Their previous high came against Bucknell, 223 yards against the Bison on 48 carries. So been some big plays as Scales has rushed for 112, Bowden for 69, Winters for 68. Dartmouth will go to work from their own 37-yard line.
That's a record with only 5 minutes gone in the second half, too.
So here comes Connor Kempe, who has been effective. The question is, can he bring the team all the way down the field? It's one thing to get it done inside the 20s, but Dartmouth looking for a little finishing touch here, looking for their first touchdown of the game. 1st and 10 from the 37. Kempe not afraid to go right to the air, and that one may have slipped out of his hand. Schwiger was wide open, and Kempe, rubbing his hands on his jersey and on his hand warmer pouch attached to his waist after that play.
Yep, you can see right here, he tries to, the ball's nose down right away. You can tell, but he's still, he's sitting in that pocket fine. The difference is this half, now all of a sudden you're down 27-3. I don't think Harvard has to worry about the play action pass as much. It's going to be a little more difficult for Connor Kempe this half.
Looking all the way for Schwiger on 2nd down and 10. Schwiger trying again to get to the outside, but Chris Splinter there to close the gap and knock him out of bounds.
Just a different way for Dartmouth to try to get to the corner, but I'm telling you, this Harvard defense is a little too fast for this. You've got safeties, you've got inside linebackers, you've got outside linebackers, you've got corners coming up. Even if you throw the ball out to them like that and give them a 10-yard head start, it's difficult to outrun this Harvard defense.
Owusu out there as well for Harvard. Third down and 6. Kempe throws it, and it is complete, but it's short of a first down. But again, much like before, as a flag comes flying in.
Looks like some late activity going on.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. The question is, who's it against?
Pushing and shoving, offensive lineman getting into it.
Just the second penalty of the night for the two teams combined.
Offense 63, dead ball, personal foul, defense 62, penalties are all set, result of the play is 4th down.
Ryan O'Neal, John Lyon, the ones who get whistled.
They get a replay on the third down play that was short of the first down. Just a little pushing and shoving at the end of the play, nothing serious.
It should be fourth down. The referee said fourth down, I believe.
They said they were both dead ball fouls. Right. They called it a dead ball, and you'd have to move it up closer unless it was an incomplete pass.
Well, they should move it up to about a yard and a half short of the first down marker,
right.
Which is...
It was a complete pass.
Yeah. So that's what Buddy Tevens is making sure of, where the ball is going to be. We saw them go for it on fourth down.
Similar
yes.
part of the field, right?
And they will do so again, but 4th and 1.5 is a lot better than 4th and 5.
Yes. And 1.5, you got a run pass option. You could easily run the ball here.
Kempe ran it last time, remember. He started in the shotgun, moved up under center. We'll see what he does here on fourth down and a short 2. He will pass on fourth down. Throwing and incomplete. Harvard comes up with a stop on fourth down. The pass intended for Bo Patterson.
A little bit low, but actually a very catchable ball. Watch Kempe again. He's kind of eyeballing his receiver a little bit. Ball is nose down a little bit. Got 2 hands on that ball. Oh, you got to catch that ball. That ball was put right where the defender couldn't touch it, but the receiver could. You got to make that play. Harvard makes that play. Dartmouth's not making the play.
Tough, though. I mean, check out the conditions.
Yep.
It's a wet football. The snow's falling.
Yep.
You got a freshman who's sliding down to the turf.
Yep. All those things add up. Good throw by Kempe, though.
First down at 10. Scales. Pile keeps moving forward. And when the whistle blows, it's a gain of 6.
Yeah, you can see that Harvard offensive line basically resetting the line of scrimmage. By the time the running back reaches them, they've already moved the Dartmouth defensive line 2 or 3 yards off the ball.
Well, Trevor Scales is going to need a new sock probably, too, after all this. Although, just get that shoe on. I want to get back in there. I'm putting up a big day. Instead, it's Bowden who gets the carry, and Bowden has the first down and a little bit more. Bowden finally knocked out of bounds after a big gain on the play. Somebody from Dartmouth lost their hat.
I like the way this kid Bowden runs. He kind of runs with an attitude a little bit. He's putting the shoulder down, the spinning. He can probably do without as he grows up as a ball player, but he runs hard, and he usually straight up and down the field. So
you're not a big fan of the flair, the style points.
I'm a big flair of scoring.
Big fan of the flair of scoring. And a complete pass to Kyle Juszczyk, guy they call Juice, brings it inside the 10, and 1st and goal coming up again for Harvard.
They've been running the ball so well, you got to respect the play action and watch Winters just stand right in there. That's actually a real good catch by Juszczyk. It's a little bit above and behind him, but all around, good catch, good throw, decent throw.
They go to Bowden again. Bowden turns it up, stays on his feet, reaches for the goal line, and he is in. Touchdown, Harvard. 2nd of the night for Zach Bowden. And the Crimson are pulling away here in the snow at Harvard.
Zach Bowden gets hit about the 3-yard line still. Nice cut right here. He sees it open up on the outside, back to the other side. Actually gets hit around the 4-yard line, drags a defensive lineman with him. Another 7 points for Harvard.
So after the 20-yard completion to Juszczyk, it's a 7-yard touchdown run for Bowden, and the point after is good. The freshman having a great night. Harvard on the ground having a dominating night, 34-3.
Kids, let's go. Hey, Mom. Who are you?
Where's my daughter?
Chill out, Mom.
Who's that?
Who's that? Oh, I can't wait till I'm 18. Hey, girlie. Yeah, what time do you want to meet? What?
Get help from the partnership at drugfree.org.
Victor Ray, this is Scorpion 23 traveling west on
MSR Vernon, 4 Victors, 16 packs. Request MSR status. Over. Roger. Scorpion 23. All MSRs and AO are read past 24 hours. 3 IEDs on MSR Vernon. Victor X-ray, this is Scorpion 23. 1 Victor hit by IED at grid. Mike Bravo, 310737. Take a small arms fire. Request QRF and medevac at this location. Over.
He was there when his country needed him, and we'll be there when he needs his country. Join us and send your message of support to our wounded warriors and their families at USO.org. The USO, until everyone comes home.
Well, they're gathered around the football sideline equivalent of the campfire on the Harvard sideline, trying to warm up after Trevor Scales trying to try out his foot. Zach Bowden with the touchdown, his second 7-yard run. Bowden has a career high on the ground here tonight. 89 yards rushing on 12 carries, his second touchdown. I would give Trevor Scales priority usage of that heater down there because he lost the shoe, got the sock wet.
That's right.
Look at the numbers on the ground tonight. Dartmouth needed to come in here, and they've done a good job with the time of possession, although Harvard, because they're scoring each time they have the ball, they've been able to even that up, but they've been unable, the Big Green have, to establish a run against this very good Harvard run defense. And as you mentioned, they've got such great speed out there, you're not going to get anything to the outside against them.
And I think they knew that, Dartmouth knew that going in, and that's why their game plan was to involve Connor Kempe a little bit more. Schwieger's very, very good Ivy League running back, but you're going against one of the best run defenses in the Ivy Leagues, and in conditions where it's it can be a little difficult to make the outside cuts. So the game plan has been fine for Dartmouth. They just haven't been able to execute at certain times in terms of getting the ball in the end zone and getting the first downs when they need it.
Harvard's kicking into the wind. That's why they go with the squib, and it's picked up, and it'll be great field position for Dartmouth to start here. Trailing the Crimson, and one of the reasons why they've been unable to score has been the play up front of Harvard on the defensive line. We talked at the top of the telecast about Ortiz being so quick and so strong, but he has not gone it alone here tonight.
Yeah, they've got a lot of inside help. Anytime they try to run outside, anytime they try to make the corner, they're getting a lot of people to the ball, and they're just making some good individual plays too. A lot of team speed makes it very difficult to get around the outside on Harvard.
They go to the ground on first down. Schwieger gets a couple of yards. Gain of 2. Ortiz trying to keep warm on the sidelines right now. Keep moving down there, trying to stay warm. Ortiz not on the field right now, as with a comfortable lead, you'll probably see Tim Murphy move some personnel in and out.
That's a good opportunity to get some young defensive players some time against a team that's still working, still driving, still trying to score.
Kempe out of the shotgun on second down and 8. Screen set up to Schwieger. One-handed catch, has it. And again, not much doing on the outside. Third down play coming up for Dartmouth. Last week it was a flip-flop for Dartmouth. Total yards in that win against Columbia, 426 for Dartmouth, 148 for Columbia. Time of possession, 37 minutes, 51 seconds for Dartmouth, and 22 minutes for Columbia. But now Harvard has come out here tonight and dominated on the ground, scoring on their most recent possession, a Bowden touchdown, thrown behind the intended receiver, Sean Bodie, on third down. So fourth down play coming up, and they're going to bring the punt unit out.
Yeah, Kempe, the second poor pass, downfield pass in a row, just behind the receiver. Looked like he tried to throw at him and saw him at the last second and didn't lead him far enough. Should have hit him about 3 or 4 strides earlier.
So Harvard will get it back here. If you exclude the possession right before halftime when second quarter time ran out, Harvard's 5 for 5.
Yeah, Harvard running the clock out basically.
Yep. 5 for 5 on possessions, and they'll get it back here as Smith lets it hit the deck. And again, this is And something good for Dartmouth tonight. They've been able, with the punting game, to pin Harvard deep, but that has just given Harvard more room with which to run.
Normally you would say that'd be a good thing, but all that does is tick Harvard off a little bit and say, okay, we'll go 95 yards this time. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, you're right. They've done a good job pinning them there with the 1 yard line. They've had them at the 4. They've had them at the 5. I don't think it matters much to Harvard. They got that much confidence in their offense.
And on a miserable night, you have to give credit to both teams taking care of the football. Both teams having a fumble, but not losing the fumble. And Harvard yet to be penalized here this evening. We had those 2 offsetting penalties on the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yep.
So things have gone pretty well. 34-3 here for the Crimson.
Yeah, usually sloppy weather gets you a sloppy game, but not today.
Here's Winters across the 5. And really, when you read back through the other 3 games in the Ivy League today, it sounds like by all accounts the weather was terrible,
yes.
The play was a struggle, but Harvard's been able to put up the points here in this game against Dartmouth. 34-3 right now.
Not just the efficiency of their drives has been fantastic. Converting 3rd downs.
Scales. Across the 10 to the 11-yard line. That should be enough for a 1st down. No, I beg your pardon. It's going to be 4 yards short, but we do have a whistle and a player down for Dartmouth.
Casey?
And I think it's Garrett Wymore.
Garrett Wymore, yep.
Junior middle linebacker will be helped off the field. Oh, it's a 3rd down and 4 play coming up for Harvard.
Watch your Scales right here, turning it upfield. Linebacker looking like he got landed on right there, and his leg twisted. Didn't get hit per se, but looked like it got caught and twisted underneath another guy's leg.
Winters has it, has some room, and gets outside for a 1st down.
Well, pick your poison. Your quarterback throws the ball pretty well. Your 2 running backs are running like crazy, or your quarterback decides to take it out and run to the outside. Just a nice little play fake. You've got to do that. You've got the tight end pulling around from the backside, making a wave block, and then Winters just doing it on his own. Way too many options on that Harvard offense.
Gain of 16 for Collier Winters. They go to Bowden, and Bowden has a 1st down out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. That should be enough to push Zach Bowden over 100 yards for the 1st time in his Harvard career.
Just watch this. You don't really teach this kind of running. You take a guy and say, okay, I'm going to run fast, I'm going to run hard, I'm going to try to get every extra yard that I can no matter what the situation is. That's just a rare find in a young runner like that.
Bowden again, not much this time. So he was wrapped up at the line. Michael Runger in the middle of things for Dartmouth. Gain of 3 for Bowden.
These are just the toughest games defensively. I've been in games like this where offenses have just been able to do whatever they want. You're working, you're trying, you're hustling. It's just nothing's going right for you. It's just a difficult day defensively.
Bowden breaks 1 tackle. Can't break a 2nd, but does have positive yards. Gain of about 5 on the play for Zach Bowden.
Coming at you from the angle, watch Bowden, comes around, cuts to the outside. Looks like he's held up at the line of scrimmage, makes 1 cut, waves a defender past him, still grinds it out just for even for a 4 or 5 yard gain. He's still trying to grind it out for an extra yard.
3rd down and 2. Trevor Scales back into the game, and Scales has a 1st down for Harvard. In the Dartmouth territory, they'll move the chains 1 more time.
Scales taking the handoff from the inside from Winters, and he sees the guard pulling right there. He knows where it's going to break open before it even breaks open. These guys are very disciplined. They follow their blocks, they follow their guards, they know exactly where they're going, and they don't try to make things happen on their own.
22nd 1st down for Harvard as Scales has a gain of 4, but a flag is down on play.
Illegal formation, perhaps. Illegal shift, it looks like.
Illegal shift. Offense, number 44. Started for the other man against cap.
That'll be the first penalty assessed to Harvard here tonight.
That's pretty good. Deep into the third quarter. Watch on the right side. Moves along in motion. I guess he didn't set long enough before he moved.
1st and 15. Winters facing pressure and gets out of pressure. Collier Winters turns it up. Big gain for the quarterback. Down inside the 20-yard line, and with that run, Winters will go over 100 yards for the evening. That means 3 players for Harvard all over the 100-yard mark. Scales, Bowden, and Winters in a dominating ground performance for Harvard.
Now this looks like a great athletic move, but I'll tell you, this was all about what he saw. He saw a blitz coming up the middle. He saw that he had man-to-man coverage across the field. He knew the minute he saw the inside blitz that he could go around the end for some good yards. That was a smart play more than an athletic play.
First down. Winters wants to pass. Rolling, throwing, and a flag is thrown on the play. It's an incomplete pass in the end zone intended for Cameron Brate. Let's check the flag.
Somebody pushed somebody.
And that somebody doing the pushing was more than likely Brate.
Just trying to get a little edge.
Scales 135. Winters 114 on the ground. Bowden 112.
That's pretty impressive. Coming into this game thinking that Dartmouth has the edge in the running game, and running game has been non-existent for Dartmouth. Schwieger's barely been able to break past the Harvard front 7.
Kurt Swoboda from Harvard just informing us that with the 3 100-yard rushers, it's a first. And when you've been playing football for as long as Harvard has, and you talk about a first, when you talk about history, that's the first time that there have been 3 100-yard rushers for the Crimson in a single game in Harvard football history.
You got another quarter plus 3 minutes left. Let's see if a 4th guy can get it done. As long as we're all about the records here.
1st and 25 now for Harvard as they're moving back now on the penalties after playing penalty-free football. They try to find Saitu Smith, who is emerging as a playmaker for this Harvard